Imagine being locked inside a prison camp. Barbed wire surrounds you. Guard towers watch your every move. Armed soldiers patrol day and night. Escape seems impossible. Now imagine deciding you're not going to escape alone. You're going to help hundreds of prisoners escape. Not one, not 10, hundreds. And you're going to do it by secretly digging tunnels directly underneath the prison camp. It sounds like something from a movie. But it really happened. During World War II, a group of Allied prisoners attempted one of the most ambitious escape plans ever conceived. The operation involved years of planning, thousands of stolen materials, and an underground network hidden beneath the noses of their captors. The man leading the effort was a British pilot named Roger Bushell. And what became known as the Great Escape would become one of the most famous prison break attempts in history. The year was 1943. World War II was raging across Europe. Thousands of Allied airmen had been shot down over enemy territory. Many of them found themselves imprisoned inside German prisoner-of-war camps. One such camp was called Stalag Luft III. Located near the town of Sagan in Nazi Germany, it housed captured Allied Air Force officers. The camp wasn't designed like ordinary prisons. German authorities knew airmen were especially likely to attempt escapes. As a result, the camp included numerous security features. Buildings were raised off the ground so guards could spot tunneling activity. Microphones were used to detect digging. The sandy soil beneath the camp made hiding tunnels extremely difficult. Everything about Stalag Luft III was designed to prevent escape. Yet, for many prisoners, that only made the challenge more appealing. Among them was Roger Bushell. Bushell was a Royal Air Force officer and experienced escape planner. He had already attempted multiple escapes before arriving at Stalag Luft III. Once inside the camp, he began thinking bigger than ever before. Most prisoners dreamed of escaping themselves. Bushell dreamed of helping hundreds escape at once. His goal wasn't simply freedom. He wanted to force Germany to dedicate enormous resources to recapturing escaped prisoners. Every guard searching for escapees was a guard who couldn't help the war effort. To make this happen, Bushell assembled a secret organization inside the camp. Each prisoner received a specific role. Some forged documents. Others created civilian clothing. Some stole supplies. Others specialized in construction. Everything had to remain hidden from the guards. And at the center of the plan were 3 tunnels. They were given simple names: Tom, Dick, and Harry. The tunnels would stretch beneath the camp's fences and into the surrounding countryside. Building them was unbelievably difficult. The prisoners had almost no proper tools. Much of the digging was done using improvised equipment made from stolen materials. Every handful of dirt created a new problem. Where do you hide it? Removing thousands of pounds of soil without attracting attention seemed impossible. The prisoners developed creative solutions. Some secretly scattered dirt around the camp while walking. Others hid it inside walls and attics. The operation became a daily game of deception. Meanwhile, the tunnels grew longer, and longer, and longer. Ventilation systems had to be built underground. Electric lighting was installed using stolen materials. Support beams were crafted from pieces of wood taken from beds and furniture. The tunnels eventually became engineering marvels, all built in complete secrecy. Then disaster struck. German guards discovered one of the tunnels. Tom was lost. Months of work vanished overnight. For many prisoners, it was a devastating setback. But Bushell refused to quit. The operation continued. Attention shifted to the remaining tunnels. Dick eventually became more useful for storage and concealment. That left Harry, the final tunnel. The prisoners poured everything into completing it. As months passed, the escape plan approached reality. Then came the night of March 24th, 1944. The prisoners gathered. Months of preparation had led to this moment. One by one, men entered the tunnel. The plan called for hundreds to escape. But almost immediately, problems appeared. The tunnel ended slightly short of the nearby forest. Instead of emerging under cover, escapees had to cross open ground. This slowed everything down. The process became painfully slow. Yet the men continued. One prisoner after another crawled through the narrow passage, into the darkness, into uncertainty, into freedom. Or so they hoped. Hours passed. The escape continued. Eventually, 76 prisoners successfully made it out of the camp. Then everything fell apart. A German guard spotted activity near the tunnel exit. The alarm sounded. Searchlights lit up the night. The Great Escape had been discovered. Inside the camp, the remaining prisoners knew the operation was over. Outside the camp, 76 men were now scattered across occupied Europe. Some traveled by train. Others walked through forests. Many used forged documents prepared months earlier. Every one of them faced enormous danger. The German authorities launched one of the largest manhunts of the war. Thousands of personnel became involved in tracking the escapees. Roadblocks appeared. Train stations were monitored. Police searched cities and countryside alike. For a brief moment, some prisoners managed to stay ahead of the search, but most were eventually captured. Only 3 escapees ultimately reached freedom. The rest were recaptured. Then the situation became even darker. Adolf Hitler was furious. The mass escape embarrassed Nazi authorities. Initially, Hitler reportedly considered executing all of the recaptured prisoners. Some officials argued against such an extreme response. In the end, a horrifying decision was made. 50 of the recaptured escapees would be executed. The prisoners were removed in small groups. Many were told they were being transferred. Instead, they were murdered by the Gestapo. It was one of the most notorious war crimes committed against Allied prisoners during World War II. Among those killed was Roger Bushel, the man who had conceived the entire operation. He never saw the end of the war. News of the executions shocked Allied nations. The killings violated international conventions regarding prisoners of war. When the war ended, many of those responsible were investigated, captured, and prosecuted. Yet the losses could never be undone. 50 men had paid the ultimate price. And yet, despite the tragedy, the Great Escape remains one of history's most remarkable acts of resistance. The prisoners never expected an easy victory. They understood the risks. Many knew they might never reach home, but they refused to accept captivity without a fight. They used intelligence, creativity, discipline, and teamwork to challenge a system specifically designed to stop them. The tunnels themselves became symbols of determination, proof that even in the harshest conditions, people will continue searching for freedom. Today, the story of the Great Escape is studied around the world. Not because it was a complete success. Most of the escapees were eventually caught, but because it demonstrated what human determination can accomplish against overwhelming odds. A prison camp built to prevent escape. A tunnel network stretching beneath it. Hundreds of men working in complete secrecy. And one daring plan that became legendary. Roger Bushel never lived to see victory. but his leadership helped create one of the most extraordinary escape attempts in history. A story of courage, ingenuity, sacrifice, and the relentless pursuit of freedom. Because sometimes, the most important victories aren't measured by whether you escape. They're measured by whether you refuse to stop trying. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to like and subscribe for more incredible true stories from history.